All right, good afternoon, everyone. Happy New Year. I would like to call the meeting to order of the Pinal County Community College District Governing Board. It is 2 o'clock, and Ms. Smith, if you could please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Great. Thank you so much. Item 3, is there a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the agenda as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, call to the public. None. Okay, great, thank you. We've moved on into action items, election of officers. So nominations, election of board president for 2024. I'm opening nominations. Mr. Odiorn,
I'd like to nominate Gilbert Lopez.
is there a second to nominate Gilbert Lopez for chair?
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to nominate Mr. Lopez for board president for 2024. Are there any other nominations? Is there a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, been moved and seconded to close nominations. So, Mr. Lopez, you are on the slate for board president. All those in favor for electing Mr. Gilbert Lopez for 2024 board president, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, you know what? I'm going to hand this off now. Well, okay, I got to say my 2 cents. Thank you so much for honoring me with playing this role for the last 2 years. And Mr. Lopez, this is an excellent board of directors, so I think you will have a good time with all of us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Just quickly, thank you for the vote of confidence, and, being an alumni from CAC is really important. And we have such a great staff, such a great institution. We're a good board, great board, and so I look forward to working with everybody and moving the college forward. And so, great. All right. I've run a few meetings in my time when I was vice mayor and acting mayor in Coolidge for a long time, then a lot of national things, so hopefully I'll stick to the open meeting laws and we'll be okay, right?
That's right. Amen.
All right. Okay, next item, nomination for election of a board secretary and vice president. And we have,
Yes, I nominate Ruth Smith as board secretary and vice president.
Second.
okay, a motion and a second for Ruth Smith. Are there any other nominations?
Move nominations, please.
Second.
Okay, all right. All those in favor of Ruth Smith for the board secretary, vice president, vote aye.
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 All opposed? And chair votes aye.
Abstain.
Abstain, okay. So I have 4 ayes and an abstain. You voted for yourself, right? You can't vote for yourself.
Oh,
right?
can
I'll
Yeah.
tell you, I talked to Ms. Smith about this before lunch today, and she doesn't even know whether she wants to be here or not. And that's not a good place to put someone who doesn't know whether they want to be here or if they're going to be here.
Well, but yeah.
You
we're here for a
understand what I'm
year.
saying?
Yeah, no, that's fine, but let's
Yes.
move forward with this.
Mhm.
And then,
Yeah, just move forward.
Okay, so, good. Ruth, we haven't taken a vote yet? We did.
We did.
Yeah, we're voted, so you're the new secretary, so congratulations.
Mary
All
Lou.
right. You do a great job. All right, C, nomination and election of Arizona Association of Community Colleges. Do we have a nomination of trustees representative? Yes.
Yes, Mr. President, I would nominate Dr. David Odiorn for representing us on the Arizona Association of Community College Trustees
Yes,
as
second.
our representative.
I'll second that nomination.
Okay, do we have any other nomination? Okay, if not, vote to close?
I move we close the nominations for the Arizona Association of Community College Trustees representative.
Second? You have a second?
Second.
Close, okay, all right. So let's take a vote for Dr. Ordeon. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Congratulations, keeping your seat.
Thank you.
That's awesome, great job. All right, let's go, number 6, consideration of consent agenda. We have the consent agenda, and I guess at this point, all items in the asterisk consent matters unless they are removed. So anybody want to remove anything? All we have is minutes and personnel report. Does anybody want to remove any item from the consent? If not, I'd take a motion to approve consent agenda.
Move
We
to
do that?
approve.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, chair votes aye. All right, number 6 passes. All right, down to informational items. Number 7, financial controls policy for first reading. Ms. Jennifer Lawson, please.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good.
President Lopez, board members, Jackie, Mary Lou, guests, colleagues. Before I get started, actually, I would like to introduce our new Employee Relations and DEI Manager, Asha. We're so excited to have Asha. She actually relocated here from Seattle. So she just joined the team last week. She's super excited to jump on board. We'll introduce her this afternoon at the Check It In Chat as well. So we're really happy to have her. Okay, so in your items, you'll have the first reading for the financial controls policy. This isn't a pre-existing policy that we've made some revisions to. We hope to have the adoption move through by second reading for next month. And that's my only agenda item.
It's my computer there. All right. Thank you so much for that.
Thank
Any questions from the board? Everything all right? Everybody read all? Okay, good. Thank you. And reports. And report from College President, Dr. Jackie Elliott. Doctor, if you'd like to.
Good afternoon, President Lopez, governing board members, faculty, staff, and guests. I have a few things to report on. Our enrollment for this spring is trending just a little bit lower than last spring, but keep in mind we have some 8-week classes that still haven't started, so we're not that far off. So enrollment looks really strong for the spring. So the Penn Center, a quick update. Obviously, removing the debris is a slow process. We are able to open the classrooms up for the entertainment technology program, so they're going to be able to be in their classroom, which is really good news, but very limited select locations for the classes, so they get to continue. That would have been a lot of equipment to try to relocate, and so that was a blessing. So you'll probably see in the next few months maybe some fencing that will be moving around to allow for different types of traffic flow and for the removal of the debris. Overall, that process is going very well. Night of Stars event, our foundation's big fundraiser event, is coming up February 9th. If you haven't got your tickets yet, please do. It is a change of location this year to Harrah's Auction. We hope that location will be a little bit more conducive to not having to be outside as much at silent auction activities. And then lastly, our accreditation site visit for our reaffirmation of accreditation is February 5th and 6th. I would like the individuals in this room that have helped contribute to the assurance argument, please stand up, and we recognize it is a lot of work. If you have helped in any way, please stand up and let us recognize you. Dustin, you're being shy. It takes a team effort to write the assurance argument, and we will have 5 peer reviewers on campus during that time, interviewing various individuals across campus, and so this is an exciting time for us. We are on a 10-year cycle, so it's been 10 years since we've had an accreditation site visit. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Just any questions? I just want to comment. It's a very comprehensive document. It's got a lot of information, so I started going through it, make sure I'm up to speed, and it's a great document. It's got a lot of good information that we can use. Yes, Doctor. What do you?
I had a question, Jackie. In reading through the assurance argument, something was mentioned that I was not aware of. Conversation with colleagues was mentioned in section 3B4. One of the things it says is it's open to board members. I don't know where or when or how to participate, and I'd like to know more about it.
We will make sure, do you get the CAC district emails?
No.
No, okay, so we'll make sure you're added to the conversations with colleagues. I'm really proud of our college community for coming together and doing that. A group of faculty and staff during the pandemic and the George Floyd situation happened, said, let's have an opportunity to have conversations about what's happening on a national scene. And it just grew into other conversations with colleagues, and they're open and they're held monthly. And Angela helps coordinate that, so we'll make sure that you're added to those invites. I think maybe when we were writing it, we made the assumption because I went to the district that you got that, but we'll make sure you get it. So thank you for bringing that up. Any other questions from? No? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next, number 9, moving right along, we have Business Affairs Report. Louisa Ott, did I say it properly? Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, President Lopez, board members, President Elliott, colleagues and guests. We have for you the 2 monthly reports, the monthly budget report and the awarded bids over $20,000. So with the monthly budget report, the reports are all in your packet, and it reflects the fiscal year to date as of November of 2023. It shows the district's operating fund expenditures are at 38.34% of total budget. It's a decrease of 0.41% from November of 2022, which was at 38.75%. Any questions on the monthly budget report?
Seems pretty close. It's on track.
And then you have the awarded bids over $20,000. Those are in your packet. Any questions on those?
Any questions, anybody? Pretty straightforward, thank you.
Thank you. I have the next one too. So we're going to report on the operations and finance, the strategic goals that the finance department had set a couple years ago. So we have a presentation here, and Ryan's going to join me in a few minutes for part of it. So if I do this, oh, there we go. So these are the 3 projects that we had. They supported goal number 2, which is how to make CAC a great place to work. And all 3 of them supported the board outcome of stewardship. So we had our travel process that we were going to look at, the purchasing process, and our risk management process. So for the travel process, what we did was we implemented a new credit card program. We also added an employee hub page for that new credit card program, which had documentation of our new process. It had all the user guides and policies and procedures for the new credit card program. Well, what we did was we offered credit cards to any CAC employee as long as they agree to the procedures and applied for the credit card. They could use it for travel or purchasing, and they just had to make sure they were following our purchasing guidelines. We revised some of the codes that they put in when they enter their credit card expense reports to try to make that a little simpler for them, less complicated. And then we revised the workflow for the approvals that it goes through to help minimize the number of people that were looking at all of those expense reports. So we've been doing this since the beginning of the fiscal year. And so far, it seems to be positive. I think we've got positive feedback on it, but we're still at the process of looking at it for continuous improvement. So anything that we notice that isn't quite working right, that we can make corrections to that. So that project was 100% complete, other than the continuous improvement on that. Purchasing process, this is another one that we needed to look at. So far, we've just started that. I would say it's about 10% complete. We started out with having some internal finance meetings for us to discuss the process from beginning to end, to see where our finance individuals have heard that that people have struggles with our purchasing process, or even where we internally as a finance department find that we're having difficulties with our own processes. So we're starting the discussions on that. It is a project that has also been noted to be supported by Executive Council. So anything that we need from Executive Council for this project, they're willing to help out. I have one individual who's helping out that is on Executive Council, that every time we have an Executive Council meeting, we meet ahead of time from that meeting and just kind of discuss where he can support, and that's Andrew Clegg. So he's helping with the purchasing process. So he's someone who does a lot of purchasing, so I feel like he's gonna help us out with that pretty well. We have a target date of July 1 of 2024, just to begin releasing the revised documentation. This is gonna be a phased-in approach because purchasing affects so many areas. So we plan to have a new employee hub page for purchasing as well, just like the credit card, because we found that that's really helpful to have one location where all the documentation is for our employees. And then we'll have to begin to start district training after July 1 of 2024. So that's where that project is. Any questions on those two projects?
Just a quick, is there an alert system where when the credit card's used, it alerts the user that the card's been used somewhere? I know my personal ones, and I know at work, some of the, we call them pro cards, do that so we can track in case you misplace it or something happens.
Yes, so we have the cards through JP Morgan Chase.
Okay.
So all of the things that they offer their individual credit card holders are offered to each of our card holders.
Oh, good.
There's a number that they can call if they lose their card. They also can register to get text alerts on their phones for suspicious usage. And then our finance department has access to log in and see the activity on those cards. So we have someone in purchasing who just kind of monitors the cards, the usage of the cards, and then kind of waits for the expense reports to come in and make sure there's support for everything. So we can monitor, because we do know that issuing cards out to a wider group was going to provide more risk, and so we had to develop a process to kind of monitor them, so.
Very good. Good, thank you.
All right, and so then we're going to have Ryan come up and present on the risk management project.
Any other questions? I apologize.
Thank you,
Anybody
Louisa.
have questions on the credit card? No? Sorry, no, okay. Sir, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Dr. Elliott, President Lopez, esteemed members of the board, community members and colleagues. The Risk Management Office is designated, and a designated work group will be having their first meeting January 18th. The ERM work group composition is made up of primary and alternate staff representing athletics, facilities, student services, academic affairs, business and finance, and information technology. The police department, due to the personnel changes, will need to designate a representative, but we're going to get to that real soon. The work group has received foundational training with additional systems training from business partners such as CrossFuse, ServiceNow, and Timberland Consultants to follow and support in a more technical sense a little bit later on. ERM charter has been developed and is in place, and its framework is taken right from the ISO 31000. Good work is continuing along with the engineers and architects and project managers from CrossFuse and ServiceNow in the development of the GRC solution, which moves into second phase of the product build. You'll see that here. By populating the risk register, or better known as the risk inventory, that has been completed with following up with further conceptualization of how the platform ought to function. Also, the GRC maps into other service features such as the Unified Compliance Framework. The Unified Compliance Framework organizes and extracts existing authority documents such as statutes, regulations, directives, principles, standards, guidelines, best practices, policies, and procedures. So when we say that we are complying, we are saying that we are complying with authoritative rules that are not of our own creation. In addition, changes have been made to the risk assessment form and business objective forms, which have been designed and loaded into the GRC platform as we speak. Project right now is just a little over, budget hours are a little over half that we've used, so we have a fair amount still to use in the migration of the GRC platform. As a result of reported concerns relative to air quality, coordination between myself, ADOSH, which is the Arizona Department of Occupational Safety and Health, facilities, academic fairs, this all took place having ADOSH conduct an air quality testing of all labs on all campuses throughout the district. This was free of charge with conditions, of course. The chemical hygiene plan, which was the only deficiency we found, air quality has come back negative, everything is good to go. The chemical hygiene plan was completed and signed by the president and is in place as we speak. I'd like to offer acknowledgments to the facilities leadership, the Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Mary Kay Gillihan, the Dean of Arts and Sciences, Karen Hunhedy, Dr. Devin Fraley, the District Academic Chair in Science and Engineering Division, Edith Robinson, the Science Lab Coordinator. And recent addition to the work group is Dr. Suzanne Crockett, who's the Academic Dean for Equity and Innovation, who's also on the work group. We're moving to the institutionalization of the program by disseminating information. There will be a risk statement produced with the help of Dr. Elliott, and also on the website, and other forms of information being disseminated with the help of public relations, communications. I'll pause right there if there are any questions.
Any questions of the board?
I might add, we're very grateful to have Ryan on staff. We never had a risk management office before, and we definitely identified that as a risk, and he's done a very thorough job in helping us be compliant in areas, so we're really lucky to have him.
No, that's awesome, because risk management is so critical everywhere I've been, and keeps our attorney fees low.
Yeah. Lastly, there is currently, we're transitioning from the police department handling the hazardous material removal to risk management, because that has a environmental health and safety component. So we're doing that now, and we'll be moving forward with that in the next few days. If there aren't any questions, thank you very much.
Thank you. Great presentation. All right, number 11, call to the board. Evelyn, or Board Member Kasuga, I'll start with you.
This is the first time we've had this on the agenda.
Yeah, this
Remember,
is
it
new.
came from our retreat.
I know. Now we have to, well, I do have a question for Dr. Elliott. How is our hiring of our CFO coming along?
We are conducting interviews next week, an interview next week. We had 2 finalists. One finalist stepped away, and we have 1 other finalist that we will continue with the interview.
Okay, very good. The only thing I have is that make sure we collectively buy our Knight of Stars. I just did that yesterday.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Ordio. Dr. Ordio.
For trustees, there is an all-trustee meeting coming up the end of February, the end of April, rather, 24th and 25th. So if you're available, that is going to be somewhere in the valley.
Okay.
Recently, it's been at the Doubletree in Tempe. It is probably not going to be there this year, but we don't know yet where it will be. Also, David Borofsky is working on agenda and presentations for that. So if you have any ideas for presentations that you'd like to see, either send those to David directly or send them to me, and I'll get them to David. The one thing that we know is probably on the agenda at this point is a discussion of AI and its implications for the colleges, but there's certainly room for some other things if there's anything of interest. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Board Members Smith. You have
I
anything?
don't have anything, thank you.
Okay. Board Member Walker.
None.
Okay, the only thing, I agree with the AI. I think that's critical. It's really moving fast, and it's going to impact everybody, that's for sure. Okay, so next item on is adjournment. So do we do adjournment with motion, or do I just adjourn? Like Robert's Rule of Order? All right. Hereby adjourn this meeting. Thank you all for being here.